Does anyone have a question? Lately I've been talking a lot about how to deal with a world of so much chaos and confusion that one really doesn't know what to make heads or tails of it. And frankly, you can't make heads or tails with it. It has a singular purpose, and that is to teach all of us the essence of illusion and what illusion creates around us, and what ego creates around us, and what people's greed and power struggles create around us. And most of the human race allows all of that stuff to suck them in as if it was some giant vacuum cleaner. And it eats and it preys upon their energy, their time, everything it preys upon. And it feeds off of it. And it's like that movie I once saw called Little Shop of Horrors, with a flower. It's feed me, feed. Well, it's the same thing with this chaos that goes on in the world. That's a byproduct of people's egos. And it's there to teach all of us really remarkable lessons. The first thing it teaches us is that it's not going to go away. And we have no option in the world but to get strong enough inside ourselves to be able to deal with it, to where it no longer impinges upon us and really takes us apart and creates more chaos inside a human being. We have built a system inside that enables us to really live in this world with love, with compassion, with a deeper sense of surrender, as Rudy said, with everything that enables us to function here on the highest levels of our humanity. And it doesn't matter what is going on in the world, because there's always going to be insanity going on in the world. There's 8 billion people, and to think that every single one of them has to transform their ego into compassion and love, I mean, that itself is an absurdity, because it's not going to happen. But we can do it for ourselves. And instead of being angry at all that stuff, we can say, okay, it's teaching me about me, what I have to do to get stronger, what I have to do as a human being to grow and get more spiritually connected, and to build an inner life, that is strong enough to truly allow the highest levels of my humanity to exist. Love, compassion, humility, and again, as Rudy said, a deeper sense of surrender, of letting go our opinions about the way we think life is supposed to be. Because life is never going to accommodate us. Never is. And there's always going to be some kind of craziness going on in the world, that is going to make people upset. And as strange as it might sound, you have to look at it as if it's a friend teaching you some really important things that human beings have to learn. How to be stronger than the madness, I'll quote my book, falling from the sky. How to be stronger than the insanity that manifests in this world. And every human being can do this. It's just a matter of training. It's a matter of learning how to do it. I'm not sure every human being will be spiritually enlightened in this lifetime, but every human being has all the tools. Every human being has a chakra system. They have minds, they have breath, they have all the tools. They can learn to use those tools to transform life into a friend instead of an enemy. And this is a major step in anybody's growth, major step. We all have to go through that and learn how to do that, to take the next step, to a level where we're really opening to transcendental consciousness. I mean, Christ went through it. Buddha went through it. They all go through. Every saint has gone through that. The dark night of the soul, you know. When you come out of it, suddenly life is no longer the enemy. And all its ups and downs and ins and outs, it is there to teach us what we need to learn about ourselves. And one of the best things that happened, we can all laugh about it, is that you suddenly no longer afraid of life. It no longer intimidates you. You say, okay, it's just, what do I need to do to get stronger than this? And one no longer blames life for their problems. And we no longer live in a world of entitlement. You understand? We live in a world where we can earn the right to be happy people. We're not entitled to it. If we were entitled to it, the world would be a very different place. But we need to build that system inside that enables us to earn the right to live here with an open heart. Otherwise, why is there so much suffering in the world, and pain and stupidity and things that people, do that just never make any sense? It just really is not borderline absurdity. It is really the core of absurdity of what goes on. And as soon as we get over that entitlement and say, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to truly become a child of God consciously? That's a good question to ask yourself. What do I have to do? What do I have to take upon me to make that happen in my life? And then the laws of Buddha, Dharma, Karma, all of this stuff, it begins to work for us. We are a friend of life. And we don't sit in judgment of life. We learn from it what we need to do to grow. First of all, to create the highest levels of our own humanity. And secondly, spiritual life. Does anyone have a question they would like to? I hope what I'm talking about is clear. Because once it really becomes a living principle inside one, a lot of things in life become more clear. how to act, how to function, to be grateful for things that we ordinarily are not grateful for because they also are teaching us about ourselves, to understand that what we see in the external world is just nothing more or less than a reflection of what exists inside each and every one of us. And there are two people in this world that see life the same. And I'll say it again, life becomes a friend. It's really terrific, isn't it? You don't get up in the morning to greet the enemy. You get up in the morning, you say, what am I going to learn today? Hey, my bosom friend, what are you going to teach me today? Today might bring some hard knocks. All right, then I needed to learn hard knocks. Today might bring some wonderful, positive, credible things. Okay. Does anyone have a question? And just to finish this, you've got to take full responsibility for yourself and not blame anything on the external world. Because once you start doing that, that external world, that Maya, that illusion, it begins to eat all your energy. We wind up devoured by Maya, by illusion. Creates depression, unhappiness, and this creates a whirlwind of very difficult results that people have to deal with because understand that Maya just sucks them dry. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Bob?
I see myself experiencing, and I see a lot of other people experiencing a lot of tiredness and exhaustion, and I get it. I get it that resistance is in the middle of this, and um, so and I want to work with this. I want to work with this, and rise above it. How can I work differently to
I always use, Bob, I always use the metaphor. Put all those tired people in a room. Just put them all there and scream fire. You'll see how fast the adrenaline will begin to work inside them to get to the exit, to get out of that room, how fast, how much energy they will suddenly have. You understand? I mean, beneath the tiredness is a major opportunity to grow. And it's very understandable that when you do the kind of work that I'm talking about, you're going to get tired, you know? So it's telling you to rest. It's telling you that a lot of the tiredness is just resistance to going to the next level in your life. And all of that resistance tires you out inside. And it's telling you that, there's nothing wrong with being tired. If you've done the kind of inner work you've done every day to truly transform and change, your internal life. And by doing that, the world you're living in. You'll get tired. This is very hard work that I'm talking about. Fixing oneself is the single most difficult job that exists on the earth. Fixing oneself, getting rid of chaos, getting rid of that noisy mind, that emotions, that sexual energy, and all that stuff that creates like an interior insane asylum. It is a major effort, and it really tires one out, tires me out, for God's sake. I've been tired for 30 years. And I really mean that. And yet I come to these classes and I know by doing them, I will get past the tiredness and I will learn some amazing things I have to learn about how I have to live my life. So there's nothing wrong with being tired, but always remember there's that extra shot of adrenaline inside. And sometimes scream fire at yourself and see what happens. Oh my God, you know, and see how much energy will come up that'll enable you to get out of that little room of chaos in yourself. That thing that begrudges, living. Everything requires such an effort. And a good way to do that is really just open your heart. I mean that. It really works. Just open your heart. When I wrote the book Leah, there was a guy who I read about who used to be the editor for Saturday Evening Post, a very important magazine at the time, who got cancer. And he went and locked himself in a room and got all of these funny movies to watch. Marx Brothers, Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin at that time. This is like 40, 50 years ago. And he laughed himself back to health again. He really did. I mean, he wrote a whole story about what took place, how he literally laughed himself back to health. The cancer went away. This guy, I mean, he wrote an endorsement of my book, the guy. I forgot his name. It was so long ago. But it was amazing to read about that. Joy, love, happiness healed him. Joy, love, and happiness can heal us of being tired and fed up with all the bullshit in the world. But we have to strike the match. We have to lighten that. And, we have to initiate that in ourselves. And that's what this meditation is for, to teach us how to initiate that. And that kind of experience will heal us on begrudging life, being tired, being this, and give us the energy to do amazing things. And it'll also give us the energy to put up with other people that are constantly complaining. I mean, I complain a little bit, but I kind of learned how to laugh at myself. Stop nonsense. I hope that's clear, because it's just a different way of approaching life. And I'll never forget reading about that guy. And I forgot his name now. I think it's on the cover of my book, Leah, his name, that he literally cured himself with laughter, with joy, with happiness, with love. And he got rid of cancer that way. It's like spiritual chemotherapy, without all the pain and all the stuff that comes with those chemicals they give you. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking good question. Okay, if there are no more questions, there will be meditation tomorrow evening. God bless you all. I hope you really ingest all this, digest it, let it really become part of your consciousness. Take it with you. Don't leave it here in Zoom. Take it with you. And if you need to see it again, you can go to Facebook or one of those YouTube or wherever they put them, and it'll be there, to listen to this again. So God bless you. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow evening. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Good night.